Hi, I'm Lena.
Hi, I'm Sares.
And thanks for hanging out with us.
We're going to be talking about health and how it can be a little bit tricky but super important.
We'll be exploring how health changes over our lifespan and can mean different things at different times.
Prioritising your health and well-being is a journey and it takes time. It's about enrolling our support networks and connections and knowing that it's not just about a number on a set of scales. It's about all of those healthy lifestyle choices and behaviours that add up for us over time. So when we're talking about health lanes, what are some of the things that you think about?
Things like what we eat.
What about like how we move our bodies?
Yeah, or what about how much sleep we get?
I think about finding a really great GP.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about how we connect with our culture, communities and environment?
Yeah, it really is so many things. Are you confused? Don't worry. Think about health a little bit like a sliding scale. At this end, we've got all of those healthy lifestyle behaviours and choices, and they're adding up to really positive health and wellbeing outcomes for us. Down this end of the scale, we've got maybe not being quite so consistent with those health and wellbeing choices, and they're adding up to some of those poorer health outcomes or, a little bit lesser experience of health and wellbeing.
But the great thing about the sliding scale is that it's fluid and constantly changing and moving throughout our lives depending on our lifestyle choices and behaviours.
Yeah, and we've got some experiences of hanging out at either end, hey Leans?
So true. I actually remember hanging out on this end of the scale for a really long time. So I was actually quite inactive and wasn't really thinking about my health that much. So I remember hanging out in Peru and I was trying to hike up to Machu Picchu, and over those 4 days I was actually having a really awful time. So I was actually incredibly unfit. And I just spent the entire time hunched over my hiking sticks, gasping for air.
Oh no, Leans, that would have been torture.
It really, really was. But it was actually in that moment that I decided as soon as I get home, I want to make some better decisions and more conscious decisions around my health and well-being.
So what did you actually do when you got home that was different?
Yeah, so one of the first things I did was I started to move my body more and get moving. So just going for a walk or hanging out in the gym. And the other thing that I did was actually spend some time cooking, which I'd never done before. And it was those little things that had a huge impact on my health. So not only was I changing physically, but I had a huge impact on my mental and my social health as well.
Yeah, they're all super connected, hey. And so what does health mean to you now?
So I'm kind of hanging out on this end of the scale a little bit more because I'm thinking more about health in a very different way. So I'm currently training for a marathon. So my goal is to be able to run 42.2 kilometres. And so that's what health really means to me at the moment. So looking at, the way I move my body, but not just that, but getting enough sleep so my body can fully recover. And actually the way I look at food is completely different too now. So I'm not at all concerned about how much I'm eating. I'm just actually making sure that I'm eating all the right foods to fuel my body so I can actually run 42.2 kilometres.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Leans. A marathon's a really long way. And I think that's a really great story about how health can really change across our lifespan, and the way that we think about health can be really different at different times. I have a really similar story of losing over 50 kilos just by changing some of those simple healthy behaviours and making some of those swaps that after a long time add up to make a big difference. And for me, I was actually just way too far up this end, and I was just dedicating all of my time and energy into thinking about what I thought health meant to me, but I realise now is just a really unrealistic expectation of my body, my weight and all of my training. So I think the other thing to think about too is that we don't always get it perfect all the time, and it can be hard to find the balance. So what I've learned is that, that's not always, it's not always perfect, but leaving some room for some flexibility for life to happen along the way is really important too.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Sares. And it's so important to think about what are those choices and where we sit on the scale and what health means to you, because it does change over time. So thanks for exploring what health can be and how it can mean different things at different times. We'd love you to think about what health means to you.
And remember, this isn't set in stone. It can take a little while to find the balance. It's all about thinking about our networks and communities and supports and how they can help us make more consistent, healthier lifestyle choices.
Thanks for hanging out with us and getting weller together.
See you soon!